And welcome back to the 8 Spot Podcast. I'm Wilson.
I'm Eric.
I'm Jay.
I'm Fernando.
And I'm LJ.
So, all these new shows that are popping up, are we looking forward to anything in particular?
Looking forward to it.
I've been watching them. No, to say
No, I'm saying about new shows.
I'm talking about the new shows that started this
new coming
season.
out?
I think there are a couple coming out for Fox in the next couple after the World Series.
When does Jessica Jones start?
Jessica Jones starts November 20th.
So that's an upcoming show.
Well, I'm looking for. We did a fucking Daredevil marathon. You think I'm not looking forward to what's called another Marvel series? I'm looking forward to the wings. I'm looking forward to the pizza.
Pizza and beer.
Will we be doing that here or?
I don't care. If you, I'm cool. Now, can I say something? One thing I have to say about the Jessica Jones is I didn't realize Kristen Ritter was Jessica Jones. When I saw the trailer, I was floored at how attractive Jessica Jones was, how good she looked,
and then how good Kristen Ritter.
Great. Then I realized it was Kristen Ritter. No, I'm saying, but then I realized that she's Kristen Ritter, and I'm like, what happened? Because for the last 10 years, Kristen Ritter's always been a little weird, and the bangs, and she was great at.
Well, hold on, bangs.
Whatever, her bangs
look weird. I'm sorry.
I'm not a big fan of bangs. In fact, by the way, I'm not cool with Caitlyn on The Flash with the fucking half bang in her head. It's driving me crazy.
That doesn't bother me.
It's bugging the fuck out.
I didn't pack for this.
I'm sorry. Look, I've been around my wife, and we sit there, we comment as we watch programs, and this one's hair is that, and Caitlyn's hair is like it's all too long, but then it's like, holy shit, what is that name?
This is what a tough I was prepared for.
Caitlyn from where?
Is that
prepared for a fashion. What show are we talking about?
I was talking about The Flash.
Caitlyn Snow, right?
Yeah, Caitlyn Snow.
Oh, goddamn! I'm so fucking lost. I'm thinking of Felicity on Arrow. I'm like, what the fucking bangs are you talking about? She's got no bangs. You don't even know what a bang is. Okay, there's a lot going on in my head. I'm fucking
so in other words, Eric's lost in this conversation.
Look, if you start talking about Flash or Arrow, I go to Felicity right away.
Listen, we're also lost. We're seeing Smoke Monster.
Anyway, by the way, I watched that series over the season.
Going back to
Betty Page is the last person who's been able to pull it off, and that's it.
But I will say that Kristen Ritter as
look at what you started.
I know, right? But Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, one, I think she looked good. The show looks
because she got rid of her
amazing. The show looks amazing. And I say that, and mind you, I'm coming off the high of Daredevil. I am coming off the high of Netflix Daredevil, which I thought was an outstanding series.
That was easy. You're just coming off that now?
I've watched it a couple of times. It was worth watching a few times.
We talked about it a lot.
Have you guys gone back to Daredevil at all?
Yeah.
I had to rewatch the first episode because of the discussion we had.
Okay. I've gone back to episodes. Like, I haven't gone back and watched the whole thing through again, but I've watched episodes.
I have not watched it since the initial run we did.
I've watched the second episode about 7 or 8 times.
Really?
You can afford Netflix.
No, I have Netflix. I know when I start, I'm going to watch the whole thing straight through. I'm not going to pick an episode.
No, I'm
going to watch it like
I said.
The second episode has one of the best fight scenes ever.
Yes.
So I've watched that
the
episode.
hallway fight scene?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've watched that particular episode about 7 or 8 times.
Episode a few times.
But again, the entire series it's just.
Well, I had to watch
amazing
it twice the first time because when it first came out, because we did that marathon.
We did so,
and near the end,
we were a little loopy.
We watched 8 episodes at Mark's house, and I went home and I finished the rest. I finished the fight. But I didn't look at a certain point. Spider Pig was there, so I might have been asleep. I don't know. So I had to rewatch it again and stuff like that.
You're watching all
and Spider Pig was missing. And I don't know what happened. I was completely lost without the pig, but I wanted pork chops. I don't know what's going on.
So the director's cut it for
Yeah. So look, there's shit on Netflix that you're not supposed to find, but I sometimes find it. You know they have HD tests on Netflix?
Really?
I forgot what you have to type in, but you can actually HD tests.
Okay.
I'm not ready to take online tests.
What it is, it's literally a picture, it's a video clip of a babbling brook. And it's about a minute long. And I'm guessing it's something that's on... Not that kind of babbling. You fuck. You're a babbling fuck, not a brook. And it's just, I think it's like a minute long, maybe 5 minutes long, and it's really, you can tell that it's just a test. They must have just put this up on there so that they can test the feed or something like that. For having to check, like they don't know the quality of the different videos. They're like, oh, we have this, we know the quality of this, and stuff like that. Okay. And I found it like 4 times while looking for movies, and I'm like, the fuck is this shit? Oh, it's a test. All right.
You watched it for 4 hours.
You watched 4 hours of Babbling Brooks.
It's not. It's the sound. It's good to sleep to.
This is the sound of tranquility.
Yeah. Whose phone was it?
Maybe that was a Hershey bar.
Why don't you take your phone off the table?
So I can reach the Hershey bar.
Well, okay.
But I am looking forward to AKA, is it AKA Jessica Jones or just
Jessica Jones?
Now it's Jessica Jones.
What happened to the AKA?
They dropped it.
Why did they drop the AKA?
It was very long to say.
AKA?
They didn't want to keep explaining it.
So we got that. But again, for the new fall season shows, I watched a bunch of them, but none of them have really kind of went boom. Like last season, when The Flash came out, I have to say, and I even know what you call refrigerate.
I believe Quantum Co went boom in the first episode.
Yeah!
Wait. I will say this. Priyanka Chopra is stunning.
She's too beautiful.
She is gorgeous.
She's too beautiful for that role.
The lips, the hair. Yeah, arrest me, just take me in.
Spanish lead on the show?
Huh?
She's not Spanish.
She's not Spanish.
She looks Spanish to me.
She's from Bollywood. She's famous. She's a Bollywood actress.
You and I have this. My mom does that. Anybody who's dark,
Automatically
anytime dark. Is she Puerto Rican? No. Oh, she's Dominican? No. No, mother.
But I mean,
you sure?
But again,
she's from India.
I will say.
She's from Spanish. I'm like, let's go.
I do enjoy the show. I do. I'm going to say.
Fernando's not even paying attention.
I am. Because I've been around your mom.
I don't think he knows how to when to interrupt.
No. I mean, the show Quantico is cool. It's cool. But again, nothing's really hit me hard. Where I'm like, God, I gotta watch. Don't get me wrong. I watch this woman on this whenever she comes on.
The last show that did that?
The Flash. Like I said, last year The Flash. I love The Flash.
So this year is not doing that for you?
It's already established. So
He's talking about the
new shows.
Okay, I just didn't.
No,
The Flash is not new.
The Flash is not new at this point, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's like 60 years old.
Yeah, it's not new. He's talking about new shows. Quantico just started.
Quantico just started, and I like the show. I mean, it's probably one of the better ones.
But you know, my biggest problem with her is that she's too beautiful for that role, and she should be like bleaching her hair or cutting her hair because it's like the actress is such a distinguishing look. That if you're running from the police, that's like the first thing you would have to change.
In fact, which goes to, here's the thing that if you see in all the shows that we watch that had to deal with that, like, the Blacklist, returning show, I still like it, and so, but she's on the run. And in the process, the first thing she did was dye her hair, change herself, and make her look, and the FBI is still chasing her. But she's done everything, and this girl's like, and she did like within the first 5 minutes of being on the run, this girl's like on the run, and it's like,
you know what she does for disguise? A hoodie. A hoodie is not a safe disguise for anybody with dark skin. We've proven that in Florida. Sorry, Trayvon. But what's called? I mean, it's not really. It's almost. That's good stuff.
No, but
draw some Skittles.
But I mean, because even go back to the new Heroes Reborn.
You need to feel bad. You're a bad person. You should feel bad.
We edit that part out.
You might have to.
But we discussed briefly before the Heroes Reborn. It's a flop, in my opinion. No one's you don't like it. Everybody who's watched it hasn't really had real great things to say about it. So that's a sad show.
Do you know that Heroes Reborn has taken out the most important part of it?
Heroes?
Well, kind of. Hero in Heroes Reborn was kind of that comedic element that you needed to offset all the crazy shit. Mm-hmm. Like you needed someone who's you needed that to offset the fact that there was somebody going around eating brains. I mean, they later established it wasn't, but the impression you had that first thing was this guy was going around eating brains.
I had to kill him to get their powers, so I ate their brains.
But you have that other Asian guy that's the
But he's not funny. He's not. He's
his call sign or his battle yell. I had to look that up to find out why was that funny.
What was it?
It was
You don't remember?
He yells.
Old Man River.
He yells a name. And when I looked, shut up. When I looked that up, it was a battle cry that this online gamer did and like killed everybody in his team because
Leroy
Jenkins. Leroy Jenkins.
You don't know what that is?
I had no idea what that was.
Oh my god.
I live in a fucking cave.
No, you know what it is? I've come to realize we're different types of geeks.
Yeah.
Hold on. Who wrote the first Spider-Man?
Stan Lee.
Who drew it?
Steve Ditko.
Okay. Like, you can ask him shit like that. Most people will not know who Steve Ditko is. This man can look at a piece of art and tell you who drew it.
Okay.
But he has no idea who Leroy Jenkins is. It's kind of weird to me. But I've done a lot of video games. I've seen a lot of...
War of Warcraft.
War of Warcraft?
You heard it.
I don't play that game. It don't exist. Or World of Warcraft.
He missed every single word of that.
I looked up that story, and it was quite entertaining.
Did you see the video?
Yes.
Okay, because if you just read it on Wikipedia, it loses something.
I read it, and then I watched it, and then I watched other references where it's in. You know, I researched. And then, I found that website.
That's about 10 years old already.
Know your meme. I found out other things, too.
There's a thing called memes.
See, okay, and going back, like the new show Blind Spot.
It's just holding me.
Exactly, it's not.
You want to know why I'm watching Blind Spot? Because I have a 40-minute train ride.
Okay.
That's the only reason why. I get on my train ride and I'm like, what's on Hulu?
I'm not saying she's terrible. I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's just it's barely holding me.
My issue with it is the same issue I have with Minority Report, with Blacklist, with what's that other show?
Wait, let's rewind for a second. How do you watch it on the train? You have Wi-Fi on the train or what? What's going on there?
For most of his trip, he does.
No, I have a cellular connection.
That's a lot of data.
Yeah, and what's your point?
You have unlimited? Yeah, I'm still unlimited.
Do we have to discuss my data?
No, this is
I got like 40 gigs.
This is important. We must discuss it.
What the fuck? I'm on a family plan with people who are insane.
Who don't use their data. So
Okay. Alright, so.
Alright.
Some personal
3 months
issue.
ago, 4 months ago, my mom accidentally turned off her Wi-Fi.
Uh-huh.
So she was just using cellular the entire time.
Oh no.
Straight. So suddenly she's getting a thing saying that was called, you're about to hit your limit. For $10 extra a month, you can get an extra 10 gigs. Yes! But she never told me that thing was. So that's week 3. Week 4, they're like, you're about to hit your limit. For an extra $10? Yes! So she's got an extra 20 gigs. That shit thing. Then what's called, she's like,
There's a photo of your mom at the cellular network. That's basically like customer of the year. This is what we're striving for.
Wait, they give you 10 gigs for $10?
it was something like that, I don't remember.
I'm not paying.
After whatever your plan is.
Yeah, I know.
It's like 10 bucks.
Like I'm with AT&T, it's 10...
Well, what do you
No,
want?
it's $15 for 1 gig.
He might be looking to
So I have
change.
no idea what you're talking about.
He wants to be part of your family.
I'm on Verizon. The initial thing is ridiculous, but after a certain point, getting more is not that bad. You follow? Okay. But, I mean... And then it happened again.
So you got 40 gigs.
No, it's an extra 30 gigs on top of whatever the
Yeah.
family plan was and stuff like that. And I might be having these numbers wrong, but I know that what's called. I can't hit the the max by watching Hulu on the train for 40 minutes a day, for 80 minutes a day, and stuff like that.
I might stand corrected on shows that got me. I love the Muppets.
Yeah, the Muppets is really good.
I love the Muppets. My fear is that are other people watching it? Will
They
this
got picked up for the
last?
full
They
season.
got picked up for full
Yes.
season.
So
Then on that, I'm loving the show.
Let's put it this way. I'm a big Muppets fan. I've been a big Muppets fan for a long time. To the point of Jay sent a text message this morning saying, something that will get, because I'm not a big toys person, something that will get Erica to collecting toys. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? And it's a picture of the new Muppets toys coming out. And I went, ooh! And I looked around and realized I'm by myself, and I made that sound. I'm like, what's called? Like, you know how we sometimes do certain things in front of people, like for effect, for humor and stuff like that? I'm like, nope, that was just me. I turned 8 years old at that moment when I saw that. So I'm gonna get those.
Don't get it. It's well,
you know, I don't think there's
Are you going to buy selected characters, or you're getting the sets?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get all the sets. I'm gonna try and get all of it. Everyone! All the Muppets! My favorite, I don't know if they're gonna make him, because they've always been, it seems like they've been hesitant to make him. Because I like Ralph the most. And from what I understand, Ralph was Jim Henson's favorite. He used Kermit more because he was lighter.
Which one was Ralph?
Ralph the dog.
Piano player.
He played the piano.
Oh,
Yeah. He owns a bar in the TV show.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the show yet.
Get out, get off the
You know
podcast.
what? We're wrapping up right now.
Go to the
Ruin this
corner,
show.
think about what you did, take your phone with you when you're ready to watch the Muppets you can.
The only reason why you can stay here is because you sent that link.
The only reason why you stay here is because it's your place.
I actually like that.
I have the law on my side.
There's that.
I like that the waveform literally flatlined after. Jay, you killed the podcast.
Fernando's not even paying attention. He started reading about the Muppets and just was like, I saw him like, he's like, the Muppets. I'm like, oh yeah, the Muppets.
I just said
I was there for 5 minutes. I'm okay with it. Because it's the Muppets. If it was anything else, I'd be like, pay attention. But it's the Muppets. I understand. If he started watching an episode, he would pause the podcast.
Because you'd watch it with me. But they're owned by Disney.
Or do a live commentary.
And there's a toy company that's doing it that paid for a license. I'm sure they're going to make a Ralph because you could only make so many Kermits.
So you're saying there's going to be a Ralph?
I would almost guarantee there's going to be a
You
Ralph.
almost guarantee?
I would almost guarantee.
So that means you're not guaranteeing it, so you're not sure, that 100% sure. You don't want to stand behind your own claim. I want a Ralph.
That
sounds like I want to throw up.
You'll get a Ralph.
Yeah.
You have sculpted
Do you want a
myself.
Rolf or do you want a Ralph? Because I can get you a Ralph.
It's Ralph.
I know.
Ralph the dog.
Alright, so you want Rolf.
Ralph.
Not Ralph.
Not Ralph.
Got
Ralph.
it.
But what's called? Yeah, I actually, as a grown-ass man, bought Old Brown Eyes Is Back, which is a CD done by Jim Henson in the voice of Ralph the dog, singing songs. And he did a really good job. I bought it, I was like, oh, this is funny, and stuff like that. Listen to it, I was like, wow, this is actually really cool. It's like easy listening music.
I can't judge you on music.
Well, you can't.
I cannot. My collection is just too out there.
I've been listening to the Hamilton soundtrack for like the last, well, since it came out and stuff like that. And I have this thing where I burn out certain music. I have to listen to albums over and over again until like I've been absorbed it. So stop. I finally get to the point where I don't have to listen to every song on the album. I can skip to my favorites and stuff like that. Which means I got another month of this before I can stop and just put it into the background and stuff like that. I'm really weird with certain albums.
No, I understand. And then some like
because they possess you.
It does. And if you leave it and it's gone, it's fine. But then if you pick it up somewhere and they sing just one portion of it, then you're just listening to Rent for another week straight.
So that was your demon, huh?
I've done that
Yeah.
many times. Many.
Oh.
Many musicals. From
What was
Phantom
that
of the
Gavin-
Opera.
Gavin guy?
Rent.
What was it called?
Gavin Rosdale?
Was he from?
Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror. Listen to that album.
Oh, no, I got you with the Rocky Horror.
Oh my god, I really got
know.
lost for a moment. I didn't realize you were putting about your own story. I thought you thought that Gavin Rosdale was in Rocky Horror. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking
I
about?
don't even know who Gavin Rasdale is.
Rosdale from
He played for the Knicks, right? And I'm making it in two parts.
You
know
There's
that-
a line over at the French.
You really hit it.
That's Brian, that's Richard O'Brien, not Gavin Rasdale.
I know that.
So who is this guy?
I thought that was Brian Bosworth.
Bosworth. That's Brian.
No,
Bosworth.
what he was singing.
Yeah, it's Brian Bosworth.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
Brad?
you're right.
Brad.
Damn it, Janet, isn't that Brad?
Brad.
Yes.
Great.
Check.
It's Superman.
So, what were we saying? I'm sorry. We got lost.
Alright,
Smoke monsters.
No, what's it called? Going back to the TV shows, nothing's really hit me big. The only thing that I'm like watching on a regular basis other than Muppets is The Player. And The Player for me is just a fun show.
Movie. If I miss it, I'm not gonna go, oh, but when I catch it, it's like, oh, okay, guy with the silly hand and the gun in the hand. Like,
he looks so weird that way, but
like, I'm gonna run around like this.
Has anybody else seen the show?
No.
Okay, the premise.
No idea what you're talking about.
Okay, the premise of the show is that what's called the richest people on the planet have what's called set up this thing called the house where they bet on crime, and they have this one guy who goes around trying to stop crime. And they bet on whether he's going to win or lose, and they know about different crimes because they have access to all this money, so they have access to the highest technology in the world.
But they also play on the concept of gambling. There's a pit boss, which would be Wesley Snipes.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the name of the female lead, but she's the dealer, and then the main character is the player.
Right.
So basically, and with that, they have all the resources, even technology that technically isn't out available to everyone. He has access to this to utilize to stop these crimes.
So what's called the player can call on the dealer for any resource that she can provide, and they find out like, oh, so and so is planning to kill this person. Can the player stop them before it happens?
Without bringing in police intervention.
You cannot bring in police intervention. He it's just him. So like what's called so he's like former special forces.
Special forces, yeah.
And he's currently a security specialist. And the first episode, he's like jumping through one window, grabbing a rope, falling through another window. So it's completely cartoony action adventure. It's a lot of fun. The only thing that's always thrown me off, and one I understand this is the actual technique that they use, is the way he carries his gun. It's just kind of like wherever he's going, he's just like standing like, and it just so close to, it just looks weird to me. From what I understand, it's supposed to be like a legitimate thing, like Israeli police or something like that. I don't know, but it just looks so awkward to me. And I'm just like, if he's fighting, no problem. If he's running, no problem. Driving, no problem. The minute he pulls out the gun, I'm like, what's he doing?
What? You're moving your hands too much and
speak. It's like you're off the fucking camera.
I thought he was fingering the air.
I'm like, what's going? At first I thought he was trying to imitate the guy with his gun.
This is the technique. You grab your gun. Now when you have it, then you
That's what I thought he was doing at first.
I was like, because you're moving your hands and I see you hitting the glass and sending it flying.
That would have been content. I would have owed him money. But that would have been content.
Fernando, your fingering technique is really weird.
That's why he has 3 kids. She doesn't like it when he fingers him. Just stick the dick in.
she fingers. Huh? Yeah, maybe she doesn't.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
That's what he said. Let it go.
It'll go. I'll go.
Yeah. She
Anyway,
doesn't
I think I said something wrong, but I don't remember.
That's what you said. She doesn't like it when she fingers him. Maybe she doesn't.
Maybe she doesn't. I mean,
And that's why she had 3 kids to stick the dick in.
look, all I'm saying is your wife and I talk a lot.
That has not come up.
So what else is there to talk about?
Let's see.
Well, what's called? I heard. Apparently, they have to delay the next Alien movie because they're gonna make the next
Alien movie?
Alien prequel movie. But I don't like the first one, so I don't care about the second one.
The first one was really pretty. Ridley Scott does that well. He makes pretty movies.
I heard.
I can still watch it again.
I think he was
just enjoy the
limited
visuals.
story-wise, but he still does good work.
The fucking ship was gorgeous.
But visually, it was really well done.
The thing is,
I think that was called. They mentioned it.
didn't they say The Martian was kind of what made this happen?
Well, it rose
Maybe,
his
yeah.
name back up, and he was able to have the what's called the pull to say back the fuck off. Because also, this guy's last 2 movies did not do as well. As much as I like Chappie and
They didn't do well.
District 9.
Yeah,
District
District
9
9.
did well, but the one after that.
The second district.
Elysium.
Elysium.
Elysium and what's called
Elysium either.
and Chappie. See, that's the thing. Nobody did.
But apparently they were good movies. Apparently
No, they're really good, but nobody saw them.
So I started watching Chappie. It was really pretty. The robot looked real. The story didn't keep me. Very well.
I enjoyed it. But the thing that Chappie is not a kids movie. Your children wanted to go see Chappie, and I had seen it.
When I saw it was rated R, I said, like, no, it's not. This is not, Short Circuit from the 80s.
No way.
Down.
There's a part where he is teaching, one of the guys is teaching Chappie to steal, and Chappie's been told not to use guns. So he's like, oh, that's okay. And he gives him knives and teaches him how to cut and stuff, like cut people up and stuff like that. And it's a robot who knows how to knife fight now. It's just like, what's it called? There's a lot of little...
There was a Puerto Rican robot?
Yes, with an Australian accent. Played by a guy from South Africa.
So by the way, I can't all kind of buttons.
Well, I mean, so in other words, he's going to put Alien 5 on hold. He's going to make Prometheus 2. And is there going to be a tie into Aliens 5? Because it almost doesn't make sense that you have to go through this.
I think it's more along the lines of...
Unless he wants to oversee both.
Prometheus 2 ties into the first Alien.
Which I understand.
Well, all the Prometheans...
Well, apparently...
Well, the first one kind of...
But was it originally supposed to?
It was supposed to be...
Prometheus is supposed to be the Alien prequel.
Okay,
but
it really lost something.
And then in the middle of it, someone, I don't know if it was him, decided to make a different movie altogether.
Because that's what I haven't watched Prometheus. I didn't want to watch it. Because, again, I heard the mixed reviews. I heard it was supposed to be the prequel to Aliens.
You know what?
But then it changed. And it was like, whatever.
Well, here's my issue with Prometheus. And I found out that there was apparently mentioning in the script that didn't happen. You spent billions of dollars to send this team of scientists off to investigate something. And they're the biggest fucking idiots you could ever find that call themselves scientists. I mean, they really do a lot of stupid shit. Now, apparently in the script, they mentioned something about all of these guys were able to do something. This was illegal, so he hired the scientists who were willing to do the illegal. So they weren't the best scientists. They were the ones who were willing to do this.
They were willing to undercut you.
Now, apparently that's in the script, but they didn't make it to the screen.
Right.
And I say apparently because someone told me this. So I don't even know if this is true.
Gotcha.
But either way, that should have been in the movie because these guys are There's a part where what's called... It's like, oh, look at this alien. Let's look real close to it.
What the hell is that? Let me touch it. Not even with a stick. Let me touch it with my hand.
Look at that snake with a vagina face. Hey,
I'm gonna lick it.
What the fuck? And what's called,
That's how you know what you can and can't eat.
By licking it?
What is that creature? Let's eat it.
But what's called... Now, because of The Martian... Apparently, that's how he got.
Ridley Scott. That was a
that brought him back up because The Martian's fucking amazing.
It was really good.
Yes.
In fact, one of the things about the movie that was.
And we're back from these commercials. We'll call it commercials, but they're the technical difficulties. So, Fernando, we were in the middle of talking about The Martian and how we're comparing that to Castaway.
Well, Ridley Scott, again, we were mentioning how really kind of blew up with the success of The Martian, and part of it was that he's surprised because, as I understood it, because they weren't sure how it was going to portray on film.
That whole thing is a surprising phenomenon. I mean, from what I understand, the book was just written for fun, and then
it was an excellent book.
He started making money, and then LG's just dropping shit left and right. It's going to pop out on the microphone. So I'm going to acknowledge it just because when that sound pops up, I can't delete it later. So.
Yeah, because God forbid we tap on the table and he freaks
oh my God,
out
goddamn mind, stuff like that.
Completely.
It's like what's called LG mad.
Actually, this microphone is off.
Huh?
This mic's off right now.
That mic's off?
I'm sure we picked up the sound of you dropping everything.
So
in turn.
But the success of it, again...
I love that Fernando has that sense of purpose that was called, no matter, we can deviate to a joke, it's like, you guys have stopped talking, I'm going to go back on what I was talking about, because I'm important, damn it.
It's the alpha brain. Anyway, I lost my mind, like, what? Where were we?
No, but there are no boobs, well, sorry. There are no female boobs here.
There were boobs, like, what? No. So,
by the way, that's how, what's called, when we were younger, that was how I knew there was a girl around. Because Fernando and I would be talking, and then all of a sudden it would be like... and then he would go right back into what he was saying.
Which, by the way, is contagious. And if Eric has said I've fallen into that.
and I would just know that from his angle of his head, I was like, oh, well, if I look this way, I should see... There she is.
I've learned that. He still does that.
Yeah, no, but he's much worse. He was much worse then than he is now, and which is a very sad thing to say, because he's bad now, but he's gotten better. And I think it's more because he has more distractions, because he knows if he does that, a child will be missing. So he can't do it as often. You'll notice he does it more the fewer people that are related to him.
The more my family's not around, it's easier to do it because I don't have to pay attention to where my boys are.
I spend a lot of time with him at Comic-Con.
Right, and there are...
I've lost. I get...
And you know what?
Look,
I
understand.
There are some women who are dressed in bikinis as costumes, and you just kind of understand why he got distracted. But it's just along the lines of like, we were talking, right? You were about to tell me which wire to cut on the bomb. We're gonna blow up. But she's so beautiful. She was hot.
So an angel.
So thankfully, what this does now is that this is where this problem comes in with Prometheus 2, Aliens 5. Ridley Scott is now back, kind of on top.
Interesting thing is that they might be, I believe, Aliens 5, if it does go through, because the whole thing is that was called, whether or not this actually happens at this point. Because when they start delaying stuff, I sometimes wonder if it's actually going to occur. But Aliens 5 is supposed to undo Aliens 3 and 4.
Okay.
So, Newt is supposed to come back.
Ooh.
She's supposed to never have died and stuff like that.
Okay, that's cool.
And Hicks?
I don't
And
know.
Hicks was mentioned
I wasn't sure.
when they first started talking about bringing back the Alien franchise and saying
Which
that...
is probably...
Sigourney going to be in it again?
I don't know.
I'm only saying because Sigourney's kind of pushing old now.
There's rumors she's going to be in it.
Okay.
I would not be surprised if she's in it, but I also would not be surprised if they do something similar to what they did in Terminator. What was the second to last Terminator movie that came out? Salvation. You remember what they did with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where it was like that CGI thing?
Mm-hmm.
They blast their face off with steam?
No, the CGI thing. You came in too late with that joke.
Well, in other words, what they've done now is de-aging you a little bit.
I would not be surprised.
Michael Douglas looks fabulous in Ant-Man. They took off
I
like
assume
40
that was
years off his
factual.
face. They took 40 years off Ant-Man's face. It was beautiful.
Because they took out all the cracks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know that was called, there's actually people whose jobs it is to remove wrinkles, and then there are other people's jobs who it is to put in muscles.
Nice.
There's a scene in Mad Crazy Love, Mad Love.
Crazy Stupid Love?
That's it. The one with Ryan
Gosling.
Where she goes, "What are you, Photoshop?" He was actually
Photoshopped
for that scene. They drew it abs just for that scene and stuff like that.
That was a funny scene.
Huh?
That was a funny scene.
It was very.
Can I touch him? Can I touch him?
But I mean, it's amazing to me what they do now with technology, where like that's someone's job and stuff like that.
Yeah, but a job like that's been around forever.
For a long time. And like I said,
Walt Disney had hired a man.
Okay, you went the high road. I was going to go the low road.
Walt Disney hired a person whose job was it to airbrush photos of Disney, airbrush him smoking out.
Okay.
So Disney constantly smoked. So rather than put the cigarette down and have when someone take his picture, he just said take the pictures. And someone did someone's job. So he's always sitting there with his dad.
So he's like, yeah, my hand's just like that. There's nothing there.
So airbrush the cigarette and smoke out.
I was going the low road, and when I was saying that, because there are guys who are actually there to
Allegedly, by the way, on that
porn
Disney thing, because
So the legend goes.
so the legend goes.
I was going with the porn because the porn, there's a guy who comes in with makeup who actually makeups the vagina and the ass and all that to kind of blur away any of the blemishes that are normally on the body, like a little pimple here and there. This guy, and then
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Because a lot of them are not doing that.
No, HD has ruined that because HD is so sharp
So
that
high
you can see you can see makeup on HD. If you ever watch an award show, especially on Jay's TV, fuck. If you watch an award show, now what would come up, what was normally a makeup, that wouldn't show well on camera. Now it shows on camera. Now you see women with who have acne.
Yeah.
Even though they have that strong foundation, where if you were even in front of them, you wouldn't notice it. But on the HD, it brings it out.
From what I understand, they actually now have HD makeup.
Yes.
They have makeup specifically
Yes.
designed.
Now it's
specifically
designed.
use HD,
But
which is insane.
By the way, and the people who actually kind of pushed that were the porn people, because their complaints were people were being turned off by the blemishes.
Do you understand that they have another solution to that problem? They don't film in HD. I mean, like,
no, but again, porn is one of those things, and I'm sorry, I know so much about this, but they want us to embrace every new media because they want to get their shit out there.
I understand that, but at the same time,
that's a specific genre.
Getting their shit out there.
Okay,
you weren't that right.
There's 10 minutes left.
Okay. Before we go ahead, you had mentioned Spidey. I'm sorry. No, he didn't mention you. We were talking privately. Spidey 1. Why? Is this
why
are they doing this now?
Alright, so there's this whole thing. You've heard of Secret Wars, right?
Yes.
They have a new one coming out. Or rather, it's going out right now. I'm like, because I have the Marvel program, I'm 6 months behind everything.
Gotcha.
So, in about 6 months, I'll be able to talk about this in depth.
In depth? Okay.
And I'll be deaf. And there's a reason why I don't want to do this professionally. I don't really want to be on TV. But from what I understand, they're combining the Ultimates universe, the main universe, and the 2099 universe, and crashing them all together, kind of like in the Crisis Infinite Earth style. And then there's going to be a new world going forward. So they are going to have Spider-Man, which I think is kind of cool. He'll be a grown-up. He'll have what's called his own company that is Parker Industries or something like that. He's going to basically be a mini Iron Man, Tony Stark type of deal.
Okay.
And I think he's going to even have a wife and kids. I'm not 100% sure about that. But like, he's supposed to be like, I'm a grown-ass man now. Then they're going to have Miles Morales in there too. I don't know if he's still going to be Spider-Man or if he's going to be Spider-Boy or whatever, but he's going to be in that world too.
From what I read on the synopsis of it, it's going to be Peter Parker High School.
Since this is a new universe where it's a new, Spider-Man after the Secret Wars, we don't know exactly what happened to this particular Spider-Man as a kid. So they're going to go back in time and do a Spidey comic book of him as a kid. What were his teen adventures? So like since he got his powers so long ago. So I may be remembering this wrong, but from what I understand, they're basically going, no, we erased all that Marvel history. Well, we need to fill some of that Marvel history back in because we don't know what's going on.
I think in general, that's just my problem with the comic book companies. And you made a mention of it today when we were talking earlier. I've been out officially from comic books since '95.
Will you mic closer?
Sorry. I've been out of comic books since 1995, and I decided, what did I want? Did I want a girlfriend/wife, or did I want to continue spending my money on comics? And I went with the wife.
I'm glad you put that flash in there, because you put girlfriend and wife. Not only would you have to give up comics, you would have to also give up.
Forget about it. Then I got to pay for wife and girlfriend. Oh no, thank you.
They should have met.
He didn't budget. He did not budget for that.
No, I'm not. No, but so I pick up what I can from you guys. I've read some stuff on digital media and whatnot, but I'm still a little lost because I'm not picking up the timeline anymore. But I also feel like they've kind of blown up the timeline.
One of the things that's happened in recent time, by the way, I can explain that we're talking, these two are doing tennis back and forth. But
it's the fries.
Yeah, but one of the things that's happened in recent time with comic books is that about 10 years ago, I think they started the Ultimate Universe, and it actually did really well. And then a bunch of books were doing poorly, so they decided to cancel all of them, except for Ultimate Spider-Man. And since they were killing everybody, people were buying those last issues. They were like, well, apparently Ultimates is selling. No, motherfucker, you were ending the book. That's why everybody was getting the last issues. And then then suddenly they started to realize that if they end a series and then start a series, then end a series and start a series, they sell really well. So Marvel has lately been doing this whole thing of like 2-year runs and then canceling the series and then starting another series right after it. They're like, there was Spider-Man, then there was Superior Spider-Man, then there's All New Spider-Man. It's this continuous story, but they're just ending them after like 2 years
and
then starting a brand new one.
Who was it who mentioned? Was it one of you guys? The longest running comic book now, like the highest number, is Spawn.
I don't think I mentioned it, but I would not be surprised by that.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I think I mentioned that.
I've heard that. One of my friends said
Not
that.
Savage Dragon?
No, I think Spawn's a little bit more than that.
Wow.
A little bit.
That's something to say because I feel like I love Spawn. I loved it back in the day, but I thought it fell out of favor. I really thought it fell out of favor, and to hear that it's still.
Print.
I didn't want to be rude, but yeah, that too. I thought it fell out of print.
Well,
and to hear that it's like one of the highest now, that's impressive.
It's not talking about sales. Just talking about
The fact that it's got a number of issues.
But the thing is that it's Todd McFarlane. At this point, Todd McFarlane can afford to have that book made, printed, and distributed, and still not lose money because he's making money on his statues.
Yeah.
As a whole, as an empire and stuff like that, that could be a vanity thing that he's just doing where he keeps it going.
No,
I'm not saying I don't know what the sales numbers are.
I don't know. I'm just talking about the fact that he's putting out volumes. He's still producing volumes, and he hasn't gone. Let me do Spawn, the Amazing Spawn, Spectrum, the Spawn villains, the
Web of Spawn.
Web of Spawn.
Spectrum, that's a good name.
Stop it.
I'm just saying, that's a good Spawn Spectrum. That's a good name.
Do you know this motherfucker? Like what's called? We're driving down. What town were we driving down to?
We were on our way to
See Tony.
to see Tony.
And he's telling me that what's called, what was it, Blood and Stone?
Blood and Stone.
So he's like, what's called, I got this idea for a comic book.
It sounds like you guys are off to see like your loan shark. We're going out to see Tony. Sorry.
We're gonna go see Tony.
Mr. Montalvo, Tony Montalvo.
Yeah.
He's he's actually doing a sculpt for us. Hopefully we'll have more news about that. But we're looking to get little statues made of the dragon from what's called the hooker. And he actually showed us the process, which was really funny because I'm watching it and I'm like, I've seen this shit before, but I forgot. My dad used to work as a jeweler, and making jewelry is an almost identical process to what he's doing and stuff like that. Because you're basically making a mold. It's just that when his mold is done, it's going to put wax in it. My dad, when his mold was done, they put gold in it. So his molds were a little bit more expensive.
Dad still have access to the gold.
Do you know, I did not notice, but apparently one time I was walking around with like $1 million worth of gold or something like that.
What?
I was
carry this for me.
I was sitting with a delivery. I'm exaggerating. It probably wasn't $1 million, but it was like 3 or 4 bars of gold. So I have no idea how much that would cost. But apparently Tiffany's has their own gold. Like if you want to make a Tiffany ring, you have to get Tiffany gold. To get Tiffany gold, you have to go to this place, pick it up, and bring it back. Now apparently there was a mix-up. They sent me to go pick it up and go get it. I had the proper documentation and stuff like that, but I wasn't supposed to be sent to go get it. Usually one of the partners goes to get it, but there was some sort of mix-up. They thought I was just getting something completely different. I come back, I'm like, here you go, and stuff like that. They're like, what's this? It's like, they sent me for delivery. It's like, no, so-and-so was supposed to get this. I'm like, well, I got it. And they're like running through the package, checking it. That's all they're like, what's the big deal? It's like, only a partner is supposed to go pick up the gold. I'm like, well, I can see that, but I had no idea. I just threw it in a heavy box. I'm like, what's going on?
It wasn't really heavy.
Huh?
That's what I'm saying. He's 4 bars of gold.
3 bars would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
How old are you?
How old was I?
Probably 20, 22.
Right after high school.
Was it right?
I did that job, then I did that job. So I would have been 19.
Not full of that job. They stole from this place.
Huh?
That's
It's not bricks.
Right, not bullion.
I would say the bars are about yay big together,
That's still
and
about that thick.
Billets.
maybe that thin.
Oh, that's 3 billets then.
No, the bars. They were bars of gold.
No, but the flat bars, the people believe the name is billet.
Well, they're bars. They were 3 bars of gold.
I'm not even gonna argue that. You're right, Eric. Yes, yep, you got it.
You want to call them something else? They were 3 bars of fucking gold.
That makes sense.
Because this is not a billet of chocolate. It's a bar of chocolate.
Those are 2 phones.
When you, he's got me there. Damn him.
When you tell your story about moving bars of gold, you can call them billets.
You can call him whatever the fuck you want.
Gotta believe I will not be telling my story of gold. But
Now, so where are we with this?
Where are we?
We're
in James' house.
You know what? I want to go home and play Halo 5. All right, to get to it.
Actually, we do have to start wrapping up. So let's go.
Halo 5. Anybody? Loving it?
I'm enjoying it, but I think I'm the only one other than you playing it right now.
You finished it, right?
I finished it in the same time as Eric.
You didn't like it? Or you
I liked it. It's just I haven't had a chance to go back to it.
Okay, because I haven't played the PvP yet. I want to do that with you later.
It's really a lot of fun.
I'm sorry, I tapped on the table. I apologize. I would like to play that later. I mean, of course, I still have more story to go because I don't have a lot of time to put into it. Like, you know,
is it more fun than Destiny PvP? Oh God, yeah. Oh God,
that's good. I'm waiting for you to come back in, man, so you can play. You know.
He's not coming back into Destiny.
No, I'm talking about. I was talking about to play with us. I don't give a fuck what it is, you know. I like when Jay plays with us. I like. Oh, of course,
I should have a couch next Monday.
I'm just saying, I enjoy when Jay comes.
What kind of TV do you have?
Huh?
What kind of TV do you have?
A really big one.
65-inch TV. What size couch do you have? None. Typical bachelor.
He knows where his priorities
A little
are.
outdoor chair.
Don't get me.
I'll take a picture and show it.
Don't hate. Man.
No, I'm not hating. It's just what's called. I remember having this conversation with this guy, and he just goes, "Women like comfort, men like electronics. If there were no women, I would hate myself. But if there were no women, we would have widescreen TVs, beautiful sound systems, but still live in caves.
And a beach chair. On a beach
still
chair.
live cave.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Wait. Yeah, beach chair.
Hold on, I do have a great computer chair.
Well,
Yes,
we
you
have-
do.
We have crates.
But you use that for your computer. You don't use that to play on your TV.
I can't, it's not comfortable for that.
So, so it's great for your computer. By the way, if my cats wouldn't ruin that thing, I would love to buy that. But my cats, not to Chloride, will fucking go to town on your chair. That shit is beautiful.
Because, you know, I would give the kids catnip and put them on to the thing just to fuck with you.
You would.
They would fuck your chair.
Yeah, my chair.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right.
All right, we'll tell the story about Tony and that ride later in that title.
What?
I did ask. Where were we?
I got lost. What?
Drew? You were talking about on your ride down to talk to Tony.
About titles.
Oh, okay. It's
And the titles, what is it? Blood and what?
Blood and Stone.
Blood and Stone.
All right, real quick. What's called? We'll wrap this up. Tell us. So I'm driving down, and what's called? Wilson tells me that he told LJ he's got a great story idea.
No. I have a great title for a book.
Yeah, Blood and Stone.
Called Blood and Stone.
And he does this stuff to me all the time where he tells me he's got a story. And then I'm like, no, what you really got is like a premise or a title or something like that. But he tells it to me like, I'm supposed to go make this now.
Wait,
You are.
People do to you at Comic-Con?
Well, yeah, but what's called? We have other projects. Gaijin is almost completely done for Indiegogo. We have to finish one last thing. And then hopefully that'll be out soon. And we'll be able to send it to our sponsors and send it out to Comicsology. And all the toys are falling over because they're upset that Wilson hasn't finished either. Wilson just has to do 16 panels. That's all he's got to do. And instead, he's coming up with this law firm named Blood and Stone.
It didn't start off as
mediocre lawyers.
What lawyers?
mediocre lawyers.
He doesn't want them to be good. He wants them to be mediocre because he wants to do like a 12-issue series where at the end they settle out of court.
Okay.
What are you going to fill that series with?
Nothing. He wants me to fill it.
Writer, get to it.
No, fuck you. I got other books to worry about.
Writer, get to it.
Yes, the only thing that's exciting about that book is the title.
But you know what? Settling out of court is kind of the goal usually.
Not really.
I don't know the law. I ain't writing this.
The idea of court is so that I'm talking strictly plaintiff, defendant, is to get what you want completely, which is I'm suing you for $1 million. I want $1 million.
No.
However,
That's not what happens. You sue
lawyer
for more than you want and then settle for less.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You want the big.
That's not what you're saying.
Not even a
You are aware this is the first issue. See? It can be done, and look how exciting it made these two guys, and they don't know anything about the law. Blood and Stone from Section 8 Comics. And for that, this is the A Spot. I'm Wilson.
I'm Ariel.
I'm Fernando.
LJ trying to get fired, but you can't to him. Bye, everybody.
I know comics.
We're out.